Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm showing you how to shoot a cinematic product video with this iPhone in a quick and easy way. Let's go. So as you can see, we're shooting a light commercial today, and again, the gear that I use in this video is pretty minimalistic. I think you can pick up everything for under 500 bucks, except the phone. The phone is a little expensive, depending on which phone you're gonna use, but all the other gear is pretty affordable. For lighting, I actually only just use one light for this, the Nanlite PowerTube 30X Mark II. I think that's my go-to light when I shoot these teasing shots. And I just wanted to make clear that the phone has a much smaller sensor than your normal DSLR, so you want to have the exposure right, because there's not really a lot of freedom in post to change the exposure if you mess it up. So really important is that you want to get the exposure right, and a good tool to help you nail the exposure is to use a histogram in a third-party app. I'm using the Moment app. It has all the features from like changing all the parameters for your shoot to a flatter profile for more image quality. You can check it out on the App Store. It's completely free and I really like it. For shooting, I just used my iPhone 13 Pro. As I said, I used a camera app to manipulate or to change all the parameters, the shutter speed, the ISO and everything. Then for other gear, as I said before, it was pretty minimalistic. I just used a tripod and a phone holder, like a little phone holder you can put your phone in, and then a black background as my backdrop. Also, the light I was shooting was rigged up on a light stand. Please note that when you shoot with your phone, it's not really a good idea to shoot handheld, especially if you shoot product videos. It has to be rigged up somewhere. It might be on a tripod with a phone holder, or you have to stabilize. I think I shot before where I had to like stabilize when I didn't have a tripod. I just stabilized it on a table. But if you shoot handheld, it's not really a good idea for product videos. So you want to always rig it up somewhere. Because this is a light, I really want to play with light a little bit in this commercial. And again, if you watch my other videos, I like the teasing, kind of revealing look for new product announcements. I really like how that looks. So I just used the Nanlite PowerTube to kind of tease the product a little bit and also incorporate the light itself in the commercial. But now enough talking, let's jump into the first setup. So the first setup is pretty simple. I mounted the phone on my tripod in the phone holder, and then the light I was shooting was mounted on a light stand with the screw open so I could rotate it. And I wanted to start off the video with a bang, so I turned off the light in the beginning, and then as an opener shot, turn on the light, so really create some interest in the beginning of the shot when the light turns on. Here it's really important that you set the right exposure, because if you have not a fixed exposure, the exposure will change when the light turns on. So really make sure you have a fixed exposure. You can dial the settings in your Moment camera app and make sure they don't change during the shot. Then once the light was turned on, I had to rotate the light to the side, and then with the Nanlite PowerTube highlight the top of the light, the black body of the light. So I really wanted to tease how the light looks with the Nanlite PowerTube. And it took a while to get that shot right, because I had to turn on the light and then rotate it at the same time, and also hold the light tube in my hand because I didn't have anything to rig it up. So it was kind of like a little bit stressful to get that shot, but in the end, it took me a few tries, but in the end, I got it. I also masked around the product, which makes the blacks around the product really rich and black. If you don't mask around the product, especially with phone shots, you can get this grain in the shot, which you don't want. So masking when you shoot with a phone is really important. Setup 2 was again pretty simple. It's just a still shot of the light, and I moved the PowerTube from left to right to create a little bit of light movement. Then again, I masked around the product and added some rotation and zoom in to make it a little bit more interesting. But this shot is really, really simple and everybody can do it really easily. The third shot is actually my favorite shot. This consists of two different shots I took. First one was to film the light with the reflector on, and the second one was to film the light with the reflector off. The light was placed directly in front of the phone, and I was lighting it up with the PowerTube. Just keep in mind you have to have the same exposure for the two different shots, because otherwise they don't match up. I actually didn't have anything to rig up the PowerTube, so I had to hold up the pivot tube in my hand. So I had to make sure that it was the same distance from the light than the previous shot I took before to match those shots up in post. Then I bring those two shots in post-production and mask the reflector away and then make it come towards, with keyframes, towards the shot where the reflector is off, and then have them link up together. Of course, I did that again with keyframes, and also the music matched the connection process perfectly, which really makes the shot more interesting and really makes the connection stand out more. For lighting, as I said before, I just used a nanlite pivot tube to hold above the product and give it a little rim light from the top. I also wanted to show the back of the light a bit to see kind of the control functions of the light. It's always good to show what the light can do and kind of the display functions. This is a very simple shot where I kind of held up the light above the product and then just added some rotation and zoom in post. For the ending, I also incorporated the light a little bit in the shot. I turned on the light and purposely overexposed and kind of fading into a white screen with the logo of the brand on it. In my opinion, when you shoot products, you also have to incorporate the functions a little bit of the product. And I think in this case, it really works well because it intensifies the ending of the video. So that's it. Thanks so much for sticking around until the end of the video. I hope you learned something today. As always, a free and easy way to support the channel is hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, you might consider doing so. I'd really appreciate it. If you have any questions, shoot me a message on Instagram at sebpicmedia, and I'll see you in the next video.